KPBS On Demand is supported by UC San Diego's Art Power, presenting cellist Joshua Roman, performing from his album Immunity, alongside music by J.S. Bach and more. Sunday, June 22nd at UC San Diego's Epstein Family Amphitheater. Reserve your tickets at artpower.ucsd.edu.
Good morning, I'm Debbie Cruz. It's Friday, September 1st. Will current vaccines protect against the newest COVID variant? More on that next, but first, let's do the headlines. There's a chance of rain throughout the county today and into Labor Day weekend. The National Weather Service says there's a slight chance of showers through Sunday in the county's inland valleys by the coast and in the county's mountain and desert areas. Temperatures in inland valleys are expected to be in the high 70s to low 80s today and through the long weekend. If you're planning to go to the beach, temps are expected to be in the high 60s. And in the county's mountains, it'll be in the low 70s. Deserts will be in the high 90s. CHP officers will be on the lookout for people driving under the influence of drugs and alcohol over the holiday weekend. The annual maximum enforcement period starts at 6:01 this evening through 11:59 p.m. Monday. CHP officers made more than 900 DUI arrests and gave out nearly 6,000 speeding citations in the state during last year's Labor Day holiday weekend. All public county offices, public health clinics, family resource centers, libraries, and animal shelters will be closed Monday for Labor Day. But county parks, campgrounds, and neighborhood day-use parks will be open. Essential services, including law enforcement and emergency animal control response, will be available through the holiday. All county offices will resume normal business hours on Tuesday. From KPBS, you're listening to San Diego News Now. Stay with me for more of the local news you need.
KPBS On Demand is supported by UC San Diego's Art Power, presenting cellist Joshua Roman, performing from his album Immunity, alongside music by J.S. Bach and more. Sunday, June 22nd at UC San Diego's Epstein Family Amphitheater. Reserve your tickets at artpower.ucsd.edu.
San Diego County is reporting the highest monthly COVID infections since March. Reporter Melissa May has this update.
In August, San Diego County recorded more than 4,700 COVID-19 cases. Dr. Williams Sang with Kaiser Permanente San Diego says while symptoms of the new dominant COVID variant are similar to the original virus, current vaccines don't provide great protection against it.
The key thing to know is that the Ares is also a variant related to XBB, which is a variant of Omicron. So we've seen this before. It's nothing new. Certainly in terms of vaccination response, it's something that we're looking at very closely to make sure that you are still going to be protected from the virus.
Sang recommends getting vaccinated if you haven't yet, but he suggests waiting to get a COVID-19 booster until it includes protection against the new variants. Melissa May, KPBS News.
If you're planning a road trip for this weekend, you should pack some extra cash. Reporter Alexander Wynn says demand is driving up gas prices.
Until Wednesday, prices in San Diego have been rising consistently for 35 straight days, even though crude oil prices have remained consistent. AAA's Ann-Jen Venegas says several factors contributed to the spike in prices.
There was a few issues with a couple of refineries in Wilmington and Carson. Also, even though the storm Hillary didn't have a significant impact on refineries, for some reason, they still increased gas prices just in case there were any issues.
AAA expects prices to drop after Labor Day. For now, here are some tips to save on gasoline. AAA says you should drive the speed limit on the highway. Use cruise control when possible, and shop around for cheap gas. Costco and Sam Club's pumps are always a good option if you're a member. You could also try the Gas Buddy app where people report where the cheap gas stations are. Alexander Nguyen, KPBS News.
The Grossmont Union High School District is moving ahead with a new mental health provider for students. Education reporter MG Perez has more on the controversial change in direction.
For decades, San Diego Youth Services has provided licensed therapists and other mental health programs to the 17 campuses of the Grossmont Union High School District. 2 weeks ago, a majority of the school board sided with community members who objected to gender-affirming and other LGBTQ mental health programs that were offered and canceled the long-standing contract. A specially called board meeting Wednesday night to hear from the opposition did not change the decision. Stephen Gillet is Chief Program Officer for San Diego Youth Services.
Our services are going to be here with or without these politics, and we're going to get young people in our communities the support they need.
The new provider approved by the school board is a company called Wellness Together. The transition of services could take up to 2 months. MG Perez, KPBS News.
Fishing off the Oceanside Pier is pretty popular, but to get to the pier, you have to cross a connecting concrete bridge. That bridge is nearly 100 years old and reaching the end of its structural lifespan. North County reporter Tanya Thorne says a renovation is underway.
Dara Woods is with the city of Oceanside.
Council approved reconstructing the facility, including the lifeguard headquarters and the construction of a new lifeguard support facility in between the structure where the Tin Fish facility is right now.
She says structurally, the bridge needs replacing, but Oceanside lifeguards also need a bigger space.
Staffing has increased over the years, and so they've outgrown that facility and they're in need of additional space.
The proposed building will be 3 stories with room for restaurants. The cost of the renovation is $40 million, and funding has yet to be secured. Environmental studies will need to take place before a design is presented and are estimated to take about 2 years. Tanya Thorne, KPBS News.
Coming up, a dog groomer is transforming dogs into walking works of art to help them get adopted.
So when I hear that those guys get adopted, I'm just like over the moon. I'm just grateful that I get to do it.
We'll have that story and more just after the break.
KPBS On Demand is supported by UC San Diego's Art Power, presenting cellist Joshua Roman, performing from his album Immunity, alongside music by J.S. Bach and more, Sunday, June 22nd at UC San Diego's Epstein Family Amphitheater. Reserve your tickets at artpower.ucsd.edu.
The San Diego Humane Society has an overpopulation problem. For months, they've been over capacity, especially when it comes to dogs. But one San Diegan is doing what he can to help. Reporter John Carroll introduces us to a dog groomer who brings an artistic touch to help pooches find loving homes.
At the San Diego Humane Society's El Cajon campus, dog groomer Gabe Feitosa is making his monthly visit.
Oh my God, we're almost done. Almost.
He's in a dog grooming room with his assistant, transforming a 3-legged little guy named Minnow into a tiger.
Let me take a look at him. Oh, baby.
There we go.
Feitosa's passion for this work began years ago when he was a boy growing up in challenging circumstances in the favelas of Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Even before I started doing dog grooming, I thought I was going to be an artist. I love to draw, I love to paint.
Feitosa also had a passion for dogs. He started helping a dog groomer in his hometown. Eventually, the grooming and the artistic spark came together. He made his way to San Diego in 2014 and now has his own dog grooming business in University Heights. There, he charges anywhere between $500 and $1,700 to transform dogs into walking works of art. He appeared on an ABC show called Pooch Perfect in the summer of 2021 and quickly gained national attention. Then, last December, he had an idea.
I was trying to find a way to give back, so I reached out to the Humane Society and was like, hey guys, what if we transform your guys' dogs and bring attention not only for the dogs that are getting transformed to get adopted right away, but to the cause.
More on the cause in a moment, but first, how this all works. A Humane Society team selects a dog or dogs that would typically get looked over, like our friend Minnow, and a big beautiful girl named Nyla. Her family had to give her up.
Yeah, just like distract her a little bit, yeah.
Feitosa employs a dazzling array of colors. All the dye is vegan and non-toxic, doesn't harm the dogs in any way. But it's a challenge. How many artists do you know that have to contend with a canvas that moves? Nyla is white, so Feitosa decided to give her rainbow colors on her ears and on her big bushy tail. After the dog gets their color, they get a bath. Then, time for blow drying. And finally, a trim. At that point, the canine spa treatment is finished, the transformation complete. After the Feitosa treatment, the artist always takes pictures and videos of his subjects. On the day we were there, he was capturing Nyla on camera in the outside play yard. It's worth the effort. You see, Feitosa has huge numbers of people following him on social media, more than 2 million on TikTok and another 500,000 on Instagram. In addition to donating his time, Feitosa also pays for adoption and any other fees for dogs that have gotten his special treatment. He wants to remove any barriers that would keep someone from adopting one of these furry friends. He says it's all worth it when he finds out the dogs have been adopted.
It just fills me with joy, especially because we focus on transforming the dogs that actually need more attention. Really big dogs that have a hard time getting adopted, dogs that are dropped off here when they're 9, 10 years old. They have a much harder time than a puppy or a small dog. So we really focus on doing those guys. So when I hear that those guys get adopted, I'm just over the moon. I'm just grateful that I get to do it.
So far, Feitosa's batting average is almost 1,000. We recorded this story in early August, and unfortunately, Nyla has yet to be adopted. But all the others are now in loving homes. Still, there are so many more waiting for that special person or family. In fact, the San Diego Humane Society has never been more crowded with dogs than it is now. They're at 170% of capacity across their campuses. So if you've been thinking about bringing some canine love into your life, there's never been a better time. John Carroll, KPBS News.
Not many horror films are made by Oscar-winning directors, but Final Cut has that distinction. KPBS cinema junkie Beth Accomando reviews a French zombie film running for a week, starting today at Digital Gym Cinema.
Michel Hazanavicius won an Oscar for directing the French film The Artist, so I'm not sure what possessed him to take on the dual challenge of doing a remake and a zombie film, neither of which gets much respect. But the result is a blood-splattered Valentine to the passion and teamwork it takes to make a movie.
Un film de zombies?
Final Cut is a nesting doll of reanimated corpses. It's a French remake of the Japanese zombie film One Cut of the Dead, which was about a movie crew whose horror shoot is disrupted by real zombies. The gimmick in both is that the opening sequence is a 30-minute single take of gory mayhem, followed by a replay of the sequence from a hilarious behind-the-scenes perspective. So the very meta end product is a film within a film within a film. Final Cut is ultimately a delight, but I urge people to be patient with the bad zombie makeup, stupid script, and dubious acting of the one-shot opening. Trust me, it all pays off deliciously in the end, and you'll leave the cinema inspired to get your friends together to make a ridiculous blood-soaked zombie film of your own. Beth Accomando, KPBS News.
And before you go, arts editor and producer Julia Dixon Evans has some other suggestions on how to get your arts and culture fix this weekend. She shares the details with my colleague, Jade Hindman.
Julia, what is going on in town?
So there's a visual art exhibit that I've been waiting for a while now. It's called Connect. It opens this weekend, and it's like 2 in 1. There's a ton of incredible local artists involved, and it's held in two different galleries. It's this collaboration between City College Gallery and Art Produce in North Park. And this one also has a performance element to it with some dance and sound and vocal music. But one of the visual artworks that's on my radar is Kari Fukuyama's murmuration-inspired piece. It's called Undercurrent. As you know, a murmuration is the term for like the movements of a group of starlings. And she has made this sculpture made of cut-up pieces of dichroic film that stick out from the wall, and it shimmers and casts all these gorgeous colored shadows. And she actually has a very similar work installed at the San Diego airport right now. But this is like a re-envisioned version of that kind of springs from the limitations of that airport version. Hers is right by the security line, so it had to be under glass.
So I wanted to create another version of this to show at a maybe more suited location. When you have a barrier like glass case, you just always have a little bit of distance. And because my work is so subtle, like it loses a lot of the subtlety through that. So I'm very excited about this piece.
And there's 29 artists involved in total. They're spread across both City College and Art Produce. And the opening reception is also kind of like a party hop. It starts Saturday at 3 o'clock at City College, and then from 6 to 8 at Art Produce.
I mean, it really sounds like a beautiful piece of artwork. Well, before we go, let's talk about live music. Give us a couple of shows on your radar for this weekend.
So I have two. First is Sylvan Esso. They're playing at the Sound on Friday. That's the new venue at the Del Mar racetrack. And this isn't the first show there by any stretch, but it was the first scheduled major show that I saw cross my desk for that venue. So to me, it's like, this is the culmination. This is what we've been waiting for when they open that venue. I'm going to play my favorite song of theirs. This is The Glow. It's from 2017. It's kind of an homage to this early 2000s album by The Microphones. So that show, Sylvan Esso, is at 7 o'clock on Friday at the Sound in Del Mar.
Well, that show sounds like a fun one. I was dancing in my chair. Don't tell anyone how I look doing that, though. What's next?
So We the Commas are playing Soda Bar on Friday night. And this is a local band made up of three brothers. They're all in high school or just out of high school, college, and a new college graduate. And they've put a sort of surf spin on R&B. They have a new song just out last week. It's called San Diego, and it's really easy to listen to this song and just feel so glad to live here. Life is brought by weather, these vibes will make it better. Forget the past and just unwind.
That was KPBS arts editor and producer Julia Dixon Evans, speaking with KPBS Midday Edition host Jade Heinman. You can find details on these and more arts events at kpbs.org/arts. That's it for the podcast today. This podcast is produced by KPBS producer Emmeline Mohebi and edited by KPBS senior producer Brooke Ruth. We'd like to thank KPBS editor Joe Guerin for helping out the podcast team this week. As always, you can find more San Diego news online at kpbs.org. I'm Debbie Cruz. Thanks for listening, and we'll be back on Wednesday. Enjoy the long weekend.
KPBS On Demand is supported by UC San Diego's Art Power, presenting cellist Joshua Roman, performing from his album Immunity, alongside music by J.S. Bach and more, Sunday, June 22nd at UC San Diego's Epstein Family Amphitheater. Reserve your tickets at artpower.ucsd.edu.